Welcome to the Hot Cakes Podcast. I am your host, Kid Bagheera, and this podcast is brought to you by Black Rain Books. Go cop that Ravenness if you haven't done so. 306 pages of straight heat about black vampires. You can get it online on Amazon.com, link in bio, or you can get it directly from me. Just DM me and let me know, and I got you. With that being said, this is Kake number 18. NBA Conference Finals. So I'm about to pour up and we gonna get to it. And I'm gonna break all this shit down. And that's gonna be that. So I don't think anyone picked the four teams that we have. Now, to the people who live in the cities or are from the four cities, or their favorite player plays for one of those four cities. Outside of all of them, and even still some of them did not pick any of them except for Boston. Boston was the only team that was picked. I know that for a fact. There was no way in hell anyone was picking Luka and Kyrie because they wasn't even working. And they was trying to make something happen, but there was probably no trade available. I mean, there's always trades available, but it just didn't make sense, right? So to see them in the conference finals, that is an amazing feat. So here we are with these four teams with two players who are already at the table that got next. Or, well, no. That got now. Then two players who had next that are now saying, no, we got now. Because all the old niggas is getting up out of there. At this point, if you're talking any Kawhi shit, just stop talking basketball. Like, just go find you something to do. Come on over here and get my book and read it, because at this point, ain't no more of that old nigga shit. If you're talking KD, get the fuck out of here. If you're talking Harden, get the fuck out of here. None of them matter anymore. It is now about these four, along with Shy and a few others. Like I said, it's maybe 5 to 10 of them at the table. And at this point, that's it. I don't want to hear nothing about Giannis. I don't want to hear nothing about Joker. I don't want to hear nothing about Embiid. I don't want to hear nothing about, and then like the other old niggas, the other three old niggas I just named. Now, with Giannis, Joker, and Embiid, obviously they are still young. They're still young enough to make shit happen. However, I just feel like Embiid is always going to be hurt. And it's just not going to work out. But he has a good team. He has a good supporting cast. Maxey is a problem. Maxey is definitely, I don't know if he's at the table. If someone says no, Maxey's at the table, I'm not going to argue them. But I don't know if he's at the table. He might not be at the table yet, but he's at the back door and looking at the table. So I don't know about Maxey. With Joker, I feel like he just want to go play with his horses and live his life. So I don't know. I just, that's how I see him now. I feel like he's 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and you know, we all know he doesn't really care about basketball. You know what I mean, to that degree. And what the NBA wants him to do with being an MVP and all this and that, he's not interested. So, you know, and Giannis, he ain't doing nothing but playing with it. I remember Acho on Speak for Yourself, that is now Speak. Back when Giannis won, he was all hyped, talking about, oh, the chip now goes through Giannis and all this and that, and I was just like, nah. You could kind of say Giannis got his shit on the fluke. And what I mean by that is, if Kyrie doesn't get hurt, they don't get past Brooklyn. Let's be real about that. So, and you played the Hawks in the conference finals. And I believe he barely played that conference finals, if he played at all. He got hurt in that one, right? And they still trashed Atlanta without him. And then he came back for the finals, obviously, right? Cool. Yeah, he did play in that conference finals. I remember. But the point is, like, that was a fluke championship. They literally played nobody, and they was not getting past Brooklyn if Kyrie doesn't get hurt. And that goes to the Duke curse, which is why I don't fuck with Duke players, because it's always some bullshit like that happens. And then here we are. And they was like this close from losing that series any fucking way. If KD's toe is not on that line, bro, it's a wrap. So I say all that to say, Giannis ain't even been close to the finals. But I thought the chip go through him. Oh, okay. He's a 2-time MVP back-to-back. And he has his finals already. So he doesn't never have to go back. He's already solidified. Like, that's fine. However, anybody can win one. But can you win 2, 3? How many can you get? You know what I mean? And this is only for a select amount of players. It's a very short list. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that guy, if you're gonna be, if you want to be considered one of those guys at your position or era or whatever, you gotta have more than one, and you only got the one. There's no reason why he shouldn't have at least 2 appearances. He could have went and lost. That's fine too. I wouldn't even be talking like this had he at least gone to another one. There's no reason why he shouldn't. I get Middleton got hurt, all this and that, but bro, come on. Ain't no excuse. There's only one good team in the East. Stop playing. And that's the Celtics. I know Miami went to the finals again, and I know Miami kind of like owned Milwaukee, but ain't no excuse, bro. I ain't holding him on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't hold him on that. Like, he should have, you know what I'm saying? And, so yeah, them 3, like, I'm out on them 3, like, and it's not to say that they can't win or whatever again, or win, because Embiid hasn't won and the other 2 have, but you know, I think it's now the young niggas' time now, because one of these 4 is gonna get it. It's either gonna be Ant-Man, Halliburton, Tatum, or Luka. So starting with Luka, I think he's a whole bitch. He always whining to the refs. I don't like him. He really reminds me of LeBron. Like, to say he's the white LeBron is not disrespectful to LeBron. Like, that's just who he is. You know what I mean? They play very similar, and they're both bitches. So, you know, there you go. Now, so I'm definitely never riding with Dallas. Plus, they got Kyrie. But even if they didn't have Kyrie, I still wouldn't be riding with Dallas because I don't fuck with Luka. So that's that. And I don't fuck with Mark Cuban. I think he's racist, so that too. So fuck Dallas. The team, not the city. But if the city feel away, oh well, I don't care. So I ain't got nothing else to say about Dallas, I don't think. We'll see. So moving on. Minnesota. So I didn't think Minnesota was going to get past Phoenix. So when they won game 1, I was like, oh, okay, and so what? Big deal. Shit happens in the first game. Big fucking deal. So I was watching game 2, and Phoenix is losing, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? And I see this bitch-ass motherfucker Grayson Allen on the team, and I'm like, oh, these niggas are done. They got a Duke player on their team. I'm out. So I turned the game off immediately because I'm like, they're not going to win. Like, it's over with. Even if they win tonight, they're not going to win the series, nor are they going to win the final, so I don't even care. Immediately out on Phoenix, right? So Minnesota goes on to sweep them. So I'm like, all right, whatever. They had a Duke player, whatever, right? So they get to Denver. And I'm like, Denver finna beat them in 6, maybe 7. And what happens? They reel off 2 wins straight, and I'm like, what the fuck? I know Denver ain't finna go out like this. And this is why I'm out on Joker now, because how do you drop 2 straight on your home floor? I don't give a fuck how good their defense. You're a 3-time MVP, bro. that doesn't equate. It doesn't add up. I don't care. Like, you cannot be a 3-time league MVP, 2 back-to-back, and going out like this on your home floor in the playoffs. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, okay, then, Denver ties it up 2-2. So I'm like, okay, cool. This home court advantage is back, and it's cool, right? It doesn't even matter that you lost the 2 on your home floor and then you won 2 on their home floor. It's cool. It's tied. You come back home. Now you're 3-2. You're going back to Minnesota to close out. Cool. All is forgiven. Your sins are forgiven at this point. And then what happens? Ant-Man goes the fuck off, and everyone follows suit, and they win the next 2 and send Denver home. So now I'm like, oh shit. Ant-Man is here, and he ready to go, right? Okay, cool. Then I find out. My brother tells me that they got a Duke player on the roster, and I'm out. I do not ride with Duke players. Something 99.9% of the time happens and keeps a team from winning the championship. Now, the crazy thing about it is, it's usually 2 out of the 4 teams with a Duke player, but now it's 3 of the 4 teams with a Duke player on the roster. So the odds are in Duke's favor. So again, I don't know which one it is, and I'm not gonna put money on none of them because I don't know. Like, the thing is, just because you got 3 and it's looking good doesn't mean that it can still happen. You know what I mean? But if it does happen, as long as it's not Dallas, I'm good. You know what I mean? If a Duke player happens to win, right? Or a team with a Duke player happens to win the championship. Long as it's not Dallas, I'm good. Because Kyrie already got one, and I don't care for nobody on the team. Other than Hardaway. That would be cool for Hardaway to get one, but he's not really, how can I put it? I'm not saying he's not a big contributor like he used to be when he first came into the league and shit. You know what I mean? But it would still be cool for him to get one. I would be happy for him and Kyrie. But other than that, I wouldn't be happy. Now, to the Boston Celtics. Obviously, they have a Duke player. That is their superstar, right? Cool. He's already been to a finals, and he's already lost the finals, right? So, obviously, the Duke curse prevailed. Once again, I keep telling y'all this shit, but y'all don't want to hear me on this Duke curse shit. I'm really going to have to make a whole episode about the Duke curse and go through every fucking year so y'all can see this shit and break all that shit the fuck down. But maybe y'all do that on your own time, or y'all just take my word for it. But y'all ain't hearing me on that shit. It's cool. It's whatever. Some of the players, or at least one player that I know of, is already hurt. KP. Now, I don't know. I believe he got hurt in the playoffs. So that's already the Duke curse operating. So with that being said, we'll see if they can get past Indiana. Now, speaking of Indiana, they're the only team, to my knowledge, without the Duke player. So clearly that's who I'm riding with. I got Indiana. And I don't want to have Indiana because they beat my niggas. But it's okay because we was hurt. So I'm not tripping too bad about it. It wasn't like we was full strength and we still lost. I believe if Obi didn't go down, we would be playing the Celtics. And it's cool. Like, I'm not even tripping about it. But Halliburton is one of those guys. Now, my issue with him is he does come and go. And he came and went in the next series, but with Obi going down and Jalen getting hurt, Randall already being out, Mitchell Robinson ended up going out, and then Josh Hart having, abdominal issues. Obviously, it's easy to win. You know what I mean? So, with all that being said, I'm hoping that Siakam didn't single-handedly cost them the series with the bullshit he did yesterday in Game 1. Hopefully, right? Maybe now, if it's not up to me, but with everything that I know and with how the Duke curse moves, it's not gonna matter because you're gonna get a team from the West with a Duke player, right? But a team from the East is not gonna have the Duke player, right? So the Duke curse can win. So we're gonna see what happens, you know what I mean? And maybe this is the year that Duke breaks through and it's like a clear cut Duke player, right? Maybe it's Dallas and Boston where it's like, okay, a starter, a superstar caliber player actually wins a championship from Duke. Because yes, Kyrie has one, and yes, he was a superstar and a starter and all of that. You know, Shane Battier has two. He was not a starter. He was not a superstar. He was a role player. Nothing wrong with that. And Danny Ferrier was a bench player. He didn't even play with the Spurs, and he has one, right? So those are your only and Dante Jones, Cleveland. So that's Shane, Kyrie, Dante, and Danny, right? 4. Dante wasn't playing in that Cleveland series or whatever anyway. But anyway, so really, Kyrie and Shane, they broke it, right? They broke through, right? Cool. Because they was actually playing. Whoever's on Minnesota, I don't even know if they playing. But we know for a fact Tatum and Kyrie's playing, right? Cool. So it could be those two. It could finally happen, right? Cool. And if it does, that's cool. I'm going to ride with Tatum. However, I just don't see it that way. So I'm taking Indiana out of these 4. So I'm down 0-1, but I'm still sitting pretty. Like, it's just one game because Indiana has lost all the game 1s and still has won every series. On top of, if they had Boston on the ropes, Boston started off 12-0, and they still should have lost that game. Siakam don't do that bullshit. They lose, right? Cool. So you already had them on the ropes. Like, you sitting pretty. Like, you're not even at home. So if you win game 2 and go back to the crib, you good. Even if you coming back to Boston 2-2, you good. Even if you go down 0-2 and you just win both at the crib, you still good because you like, all right, they gonna handle business. As long as we handle business at home, we good. We got to stand on business at the crib. Game 7, anything can happen. Now, truthfully, you don't want to rely on the Game 7. You don't want to get the Game 7. But being realistic, being at your blue Game 1, you might have to see it all the way through to the Game 7. So, with all that being said, I got Indiana winning it all. I got Halliburton saying, beating on his chest, I got next. I'm here now. Fuck all you old niggas. We ain't laying down for none of y'all. And him proceeding to start building his legacy. If Indiana was to win, I don't project them to win next year. But I would project Halliburton to win more than one. But not back to back. And solely because it's hard. It's hard to win a championship. You know what I mean? Let alone trying to win 2 and 3 and all this and that. Especially now that there are other teams in the East that are starting to come together and get better. And you know it's going to be a crazy offseason with free agency and trades and this and that. So, and that goes for the West too. Whoever wins this year, I don't see them repeating. I just don't. So, and that goes for Boston as well. If they win, I don't see them repeating. You know what I mean? Now, will they get to the conference finals again? More than likely, but I don't see Tatum winning 2, 3, and all that. Like, he gonna get one. I do see that, but 2 and 3 and all that, no. Dude Curse ain't gonna let him get all that. You know what I mean? And this shit just infuriates the fuck out of me with Tatum because he really is the one, right? But it's like, you went to Duke, nigga. I can't fuck with you, bro, because, like, you already went to the finals and lost, bro. And, like, that was a very winnable finals. But it's the fact that you went to Duke, bro. So it's like, your career's gonna be haunted by that shit, man. Like, and I just hate that shit for him because the nigga really young Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And I know he kind of fell off, and all this and that in the finals, and then somebody did the meme, and they was acting like Kobe, like, nigga, stop texting me. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't hold it down. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel that way too. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, you ain't hold that shit down, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you lost. But it's something about that Duke shit, bro. Like, bro. And I'm gonna pay close attention to, now that Coach K is gone, to see these next players that come from Duke. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be paying very, very close attention to them, because once all the Coach K's players get out of here, we'll see what happens. But I still feel like it doesn't matter that Coach K isn't playing. It's still kind of like, it's obviously his school, and it's still like his system. You know what I mean? And shit like that. Like, the coaches probably texting K and talking to him and like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Coach K influence is still on the program. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, of the four, I'm riding with Indiana. If Indiana doesn't win, I want Minnesota to win. If Minnesota doesn't win, I want Boston to win. And if Boston doesn't win, I want one of the other two to win. Because I don't want Dallas to win at all. So that's that. Those are my top three picks: Indiana, Minnesota, Boston. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So with that being said, that is that.